Welcome back to Cancel Weekly. I'm Mickey. That's Candice. He's Gerard. Today on Cancel Weekly, we have
Dwight Schrute setting boundaries.
Joe Rogan on Jesus.
Babies gaslighting.
The selfless act that will lead to obsession.
How to deal with a Karen.
But first, here's Batman being a little bitch.
So tell me, what's the big, bad bat really afraid of?
Honestly, I'm afraid that if I fully process my childhood trauma and grief, I'll lose my motivation to fight crime. And since crime fighting is such a big part of my identity, I'm afraid losing it will change how I define my masculinity.
So, how's it going with Batman? Honestly, it's been a bit heavy since he started therapy.
Yeah, so looks like Batman bared a little bit too much there and might have blown it with Catwoman. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, this is news to me that Batman might be gay. Maybe he's bi. Maybe bi.
Bye, man.
That's not, I don't, we talked about that a little earlier. I don't think that's a thing.
What's not a thing?
I don't think that bisexual men is a thing.
Just men? So women could be bisexual?
Well, no, I don't. This is probably going to get me into trouble.
Show's called Cancel Weekly. They know what they're getting into.
I think that it's a penetration thing. So you either like to be penetrated or you don't. And I think that once you introduce that element into it, like if you were a bisexual woman but you like men, I think that the relationship with the woman is always going to be at risk with the man.
The almighty penetration.
Because it's just a different dynamic.
Now, what about a guy's only gay if he likes to get penetrated? So if like a guy, right? Is that what you're saying? A guy is gay if he gets penetrated?
Well, there's
I
also,
agree.
Yes, yes, that makes you.
But what if?
So again, then it presupposes that if you penetrate a man, then you are not gay.
That's what I'm getting at here. So if you are like a top and you're just if it's a guy who fucks chicks and fucks dudes, are you gay?
Yeah, I still think you're gay.
So do I.
Yeah, I still think you're gay. I still think it because the way that I look at attraction to women too.
Bi, not a thing. You heard it here first. Breaking news.
Yeah, I think it's just. I think it's just gay because the way I look at women, it's their bodies are just pieces of art. Like it's really hard to not appreciate a beautiful woman, and I don't think that that's necessarily sexually driven. I think it's very easy to be able to appreciate and enjoy that thing, but it's not as defining as having sex with a man.
Sure.
Because that's more energetic, it's presence, it's protection and safety and masculinity. It's not necessarily something that you look at and you're like, oh my gosh, this is so glorious and beautiful. I just like need to devour it like you do with women.
So what about like the ancient Greeks?
Super gay.
They're
just all gay.
The gays, the Romans are all just a bunch of
just
Plato,
it's
gay.
amazing that
Aristotle, gay.
And
Achilles,
it's fine.
so gay.
I love the gays. I have no issue with it, but I just think that if we're being honest, you're just gay. It's not bi. I'm sorry. Like it's just I'm not going to recover from this.
Yeah, see you later, buddy. It's so how funny is it? Out of all the shit that we talk, she's the one that gets canceled.
Yeah, but it's your definition. That's how that's your view. That's your view.
But you're talking, yeah. I mean, to Mickey's point,
You're
talking like your opinion on it, right? Like, I mean,
yeah, just my opinion. I think if you like men, you're gay. If you're a dude,
sure.
And if you're a woman that likes dudes, but you also dabble with females, you're probably
not that there's
more.
Anything wrong with that.
It'd be kind of lit to be bi if it was a real thing, just because like then you're just like attracted to everybody. There's so many options. There's so many choices out there.
Well, now that's called pansexual. So riddle me this: if bisexual is a thing, and now we're saying pansexual is
What's
a thing.
What's the difference? I don't know what pansexual is.
Pansexual is you are attracted to any gender identity. But like, come on, it's men and women. So bye.
My favorite episode so far. Please cook. Get it going.
I'm cooking again. Stay out of the kitchen.
Pansexual sounds like a new villain in the Batman universe, man. It's like,
Well, back
So
to
was pansexual created just to not offend any of the other genders?
I think it's saying that it first I think was probably to include transgenders. So like because that obviously is
non-binaries.
because that's a thing. Obviously,
they're just playing Dungeons and Dragons, man. They're just cosplaying. The Roy G. Biv community is just out here creating new shit every day. You can't keep up with this stuff.
Just love who you love, and you don't need to put a label on it. Oh, here we go.
Love who you love when they are of a certain age.
Which is crazy that you have to disclaim that now, but you do.
That's,
Yeah.
We can give them.
Yeah, look, that's the only thing I would say any of us hate is like a child predator. We have no, even we should be able to talk on these topics and speak our truth, even though, you know what I mean? Whatever that may be. Because there's no hate.
I'll never hold my tongue ever again about any topic, ever.
What Candice is saying, there's no hate in it.
No.
She's just saying the way she,
Also, why isn't her opinion valid? Somebody's like, I'm going to cancel you. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, check your privilege.
Check your Google review
Educate
privilege.
yourself.
Yeah, you can have, there's 26 letters in the alphabet, right?
Uh-huh.
They can have 25 of them. The Roy G. Bivs can have the L's, the B's, the G's, the T's. They stay the fuck away from the P. You don't get P. That's the one.
Well, now it's an M. It's MAPS. So they're taking a whole bunch of letters.
Minor attracted persons.
Person,
Yeah.
First of all, you're not a person, you're a demon. So like that letter doesn't add up. I stand behind that. But back to the clip.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that there's a time in the clip. That clip. What clip? We have a clip show, gentlemen. I don't know if you knew that. Do you want to talk about the clip or do you want to move on to the next clip? It's not my clip.
So the whole point of this is like, and like all jokes aside, when a man becomes like hyper vulnerable in a relationship, women always talk about how much they be vulnerable, but every single time I've ever been like vulnerable and honest in a relationship, that relationship is on minutes left.
You're talking to a girl then, not a woman.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you scare her away with like you expressing yourself, you're talking to a girl, not a woman, because that's like her own insecurities around being abandoned or not protected showing up, and that just says she doesn't feel safe in her own self, like in her own skin, and she's looking to outsource that to you, which obviously like men provide a certain sense of safety, and that's awesome. But if you're not there in your neutral, if you're not there by yourself, no one else is going to do that in a real meaningful way. So like you can't shoulder it all. Like you could be the strongest dude in the world, but like it's not your responsibility to shoulder it all. And like the baddest dudes I've ever met, their girl is equally as capable, because like he wants to know that especially if they have kids, if I'm handling stuff over here, she's got herself and she's got the kids. He does not want to have her as a liability, right? And have to worry about her or not being able to show up. So it's teamwork, and you have to be able to like let your guard down, and you should expect the other person to have your back and stand up for you and like accept all of that.
Is it possible though that the type of woman that's attracted to that hyper masculine man, like the Batman archetype, they're not going to be attracted to that vulnerability because they are attracted to that hyper masculine?
I've seen the most.
Is it possible that like you can have respect for somebody and be a friend with somebody, but then you lose the attraction to them?
No.
So like there's a difference between, especially as you go on in relationships, you become more friend than lover oftentimes, right? They kind of like develop, and it seems maybe this is one of the cruel realities of life, or maybe this is just having the wrong person, but the more friendly you are with your lover, the less of a lover they are.
You have to have a certain level of mystery. So I do think that it's a mistake to express everything with your person. I think that you want to create some forms of privacy, especially once you're living together and the years go on. Like I like getting ready by myself. Like I don't like doing my primping in front of my husband, because I think like that's something I want to keep to myself. And like little things like that, like you hear couples that don't have any doors in the bathrooms and like everything, and I'm like, you need some level of mystery. Like that's not your friend or your roommate, it's supposed to be your lover. But I think again, I've seen some of like the most capable, dangerous men who are so okay with crying in front of people and so okay with expressing vulnerability and expressing love. And they're not sitting there like a little bitch and like helpless and crying and saying the world is falling and being a victim of it. But there's a way to do it that it's like a healed masculine expression. And then most women, if they're healed, if they're whole, they're going to say that and like find that so attractive. But a guy that's wallowing, that's totally different, right? Like that you're weak. It's different than being vulnerable.
I don't know. You have any thoughts on that?
No, I agree with Candice. I agree. I think there's different types of. We talked about it on this before. There's different there's like crying, like feeling bad for yourself, whining, being a little bitch, and then there's like to be emotionally moved by something. It's like kind of strength to be able to tap into those like that emotional depth.
Yeah, but doesn't that suck? That means pretty much you always have to be on as a man at all times, because you just can never just be a normal human being. If this person's around you, your wife is around you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or whatever, 12 hours a day if you're working and everything like that, that means you always have to be on in front of your wife. You're never off. Like, you can't just be like bitching or venting or like be your normal fucking self.
Venting and bitching is reserved for your dude friends. You shouldn't be venting or bitching to your wife. It's different. Like, that's not vulnerability. I think that's like letting off some steam, because then it's like, if you feel incapable and you're expressing how incapable you are and stuff like that, might trigger a lot of people. I think you have to decide, like, not all expression needs to be expressed all of the time and to everybody. So I think you do need to figure out pockets, but it's like, if you're feeling overwhelmed in some sense, you should be able to share that with your partner. If you can't, that's too vulnerable to me. Like, that's too fragile. If you express anything and she wants to ditch, I think you need to know that sooner or later, rather than later.
You said in the beginning that that's a girl. Like, a lot of these guys who put out things like how to like date, you know what I mean? Like how to like don't let your girl think she needs you or that you need her, but like you want her, but like don't. If she says 3 nice things to you, you can give her 2 compliments back. You know what I mean? Like these type of
bro math.
Like you'll see this shit. Like that's for dating a child. You know what I mean? Like a little girl, an 18-year-old, even if she's fucking 30, she's
emotionally
not an 18-year-old
immature
brain or younger. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, exactly. She's emotionally immature. So I liked what you said in the beginning, how that's a girl. It's not a woman. But I also think, with you saying the thing about being on, I think it's a little bit of, you should never be that off. You should never be like that whiny guy. Like, I'll tell you this, and I take a little pride in this. I've never felt bad for myself fucking ever. I've never sat around feeling bad for myself. Anything that I don't like, I'm like, well, I fucked that up and I need to do that different. If otherwise, I'd have no agency. Things are being mean to me. The world's like. I think if that's like you not being on at the moment, like, then yeah, you should keep it on. You should be you know what I mean? I think that's about being a man. Like, you should. I think a lot of fucking people feel bad, like, for themselves, and I think it's a useless fucking trait.
You go about and pity for yourself.
Yeah, I think it's terrible. I think it's a waste of time. It's that victim mentality. I think there's too much of that victim shit. You got to have your own personal agency and like believe that you're important enough to make shit happen. And if you don't like something in your life, then good, go fucking. You could change it. You can do that. But if you believe, I got the worst luck and everybody's mean to me, like, that's some loser shit.
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Sometimes it's like the older you get, especially as a man, the right answer is always just shut up. The stoic thing. Just sit there quietly, and people will come to their own conclusions, and it's just better. It's better to just sit there and the whole Irish quiet man, just stuff it all down and let it
Don't everyone
metastasize yourself
stop
into-
listening to Gerard. Everyone,
cancer and alcoholism.
no, everyone, don't listen to that advice. It's the worst advice that has been given on probably any podcast. That's what leads to illness, suicide,
and
disconnection.
then it's all over. And then you don't have to worry about venting anymore.
Let's not listen to that. No, express yourself. If someone shames you for that, it's probably the wrong person. It's not about you. You are allowed to have feelings. I think this toxic behavior of saying like men don't cry, men don't have feelings, men have to be hard and on all of the time. I know now that sounds like a sexual thing, but no.
Guys,
not what I
here we
meant.
go.
That's not what I
There we
meant.
go. Yep.
No, you're a human being and you're supposed to express all of it. And I think that the reason that men suffer so much more than women when it comes to mental health and suicide is because we're not allowing them to just be human.
Okay, which is true, but also nobody wants to be a little bitch like Batman. So
No
just
one's
stuff it
saying
all
that.
down, and then once a month, get yourself a bottle of whiskey, and make good decisions.
Go out and hit someone in a bar. You know?
Okay, we're going to talk.
We're talking get a little exercise.
Just-
Someone's fucking face.
There you go. You work it out,
Yeah.
Well,
and then you get put in, county timeout
But I think
for 30 days to think about what you've done.
I feel like we're kind of we are a little bit all have different opinions on this, on different. You know what I mean? Like I think a little bit. What I'm saying is I'm not saying stuff it, but I'm saying like step up.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
What's
But
interesting?
I think it's close. It's close to stuffing.
What's interesting is maybe it's confidence, maybe it's genetics. I don't know, but not to oversimplify the divide in our opinions on this, but it's like you kind of have an opinion where it's like whatever I do, however I feel, it's the right way. It's going to be the right decision. And I'm coming from a perspective of like, if I stay quiet, it's going to be the wrong thing. If I talk, it's going to be the wrong thing. Like it feels like you can't win, So it's like, just be quiet. That's kind of, you're laughing, but I mean, it's like, you can't win. Just fucking whatever, move on.
And I'm talking about having a ride or die that's there in all weather and that you can be partnership with.
But they're
so,
usually so fat.
Okay, so we're going to talk about boundaries with Dwight Schrute and Whitney Cummings.
Horses, they need to know their pecking order.
Yep.
As do humans, which I think we forget. So when they move into a space, they need to, they root into you. They kind of nudge you because they want to see if you push back and stand up for yourself. And if you do, they respect you. This is what I learned from animals. Someone respects you only as much as you respect yourself. And that took me a very long time to learn because I spent so much time going, no, I'm going to self-deprecate and make myself smaller and I'll just be a doormat. And then shocker, people treat you like a doormat.
Wow.
They take their cues of how to feel about you from you. So when we run around trying to get people's approval, I hope you like me. Do you like me? Do you like me? And they're like, well, you don't even like you. So why would I like you?
Wow.
And then I was like, oh, right. I have to figure out how to like myself and the rest will fall into place.
You're dropping so much wisdom. We're not even 5 minutes
So
into this
sorry.
thing.
Can I just scald myself already?
Yeah.
That's a great clip.
It's a really good
That's
clip.
a great clip.
Why
Yeah.
do you think? Why or you?
No,
you
go
went
ahead.
First, your clip. Why do you think that's a great clip?
Oh, I resonate with everything that she said from beginning to end, and especially coming from a comedian. In the beginning in comedy, you realize the cheapest joke is yourself. Because it becomes hard to
be
like make other material.
self-deprecating.
Yeah, it's a crutch.
It's disarming to a degree to be self-deprecating, right?
100%. And there's, especially when you're a crowd work guy, you kind of have to be self-deprecating because otherwise you're a bully.
Right.
So it's like I'll take the piss out of you, but then hey, I'm an
I'll make
asshole
fun of
too,
me
and
a
then this
little
guy,
bit. Yeah.
But in an odd thing, and I've even seen this with Slick and Thick, where it's like we'll make fun of like like I can't fight or something like that, and then like I'll get a comment or a DM, and I'll be like, wait, no, you don't get to say that.
Right.
Like he gets to say that. You don't get to say
The
that.
boys can make fun of each other. You can't make fun
You
of
don't get to say that, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, because now it's like, okay, we have to fight.
Right.
And then, well, what are you talking about? And it's the dynamic that's created. And you're sitting here like, man, no, like, kind of what you were talking about before. It's like, that's kind of a character that we're playing.
Right. So here's what I got out of that. I kind of disagree with that clip because I know people who like themselves a lot and it's very off-putting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's kind of the opposite. Like there's a happy medium where like, yeah, you like yourself, but you're not like so full of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like the people who like, you'd be like, yeah, no one loves G more than G loves G. You know what I mean? Because they're always talking about themselves but like that type of like that. It's funny. I could think of a few people. We should go viral right now. But yeah, you know what I mean?
Say it. Who?
Don't pressure him if he doesn't want to say.
No, I shouldn't.
I'm cooking now.
Because here's the thing: those people can be hypersensitive, and it could implode. Because I almost think like a little bit of that is a defense mecanism.
What's so funny is you're not saying their names, and they definitely think you're talking about them.
I thought you were gonna say I know who you're talking about.
I have a couple people in mind,
yeah.
but
you know what I'm saying? Like I
totally.
think. Like,
well, they lack self-awareness.
Exactly. It's a lack of self-awareness. It's always about it's like, all right, cool. Like you can only talk to them for like 30 seconds in a clip.
Yeah.
Otherwise they're going to start almost draining you.
See, it's interesting you come to that conclusion because I'm looking at that, and then Candice, I want to get your opinion on this. I'm looking at that going, this is for people that are too self-aware. Like this is the type of conversation that you're having with yourself that's like, I don't, you don't get the world you deserve. You get the world you allow. And there's some people that, like, there was just a clip that went viral of LeBron James. The kid ran up to him in Paris.
Oh, and he was like,
no. Stop. Everybody's like, look at LeBron James. He hates his fans. And I don't like LeBron James at all. I hate almost everything about that guy. But I thought he was perfectly fine there. Like, whoa, you don't get to just run up on a dude in public and demand.
Start pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
So, I mean.
It's a little kid?
Huh?
Is a little kid, though?
It was like a teenager.
Oh, teenager. Okay, that's different.
Like, look, he probably could have handled it better. But also at the same time, I have no problem with him having that boundary.
It could have been a bad day, too.
No, he just won the gold medal. He just
Pretty
won.
Good day.
And then he started dancing. I think what killed him is that he's so fake and phony that he started, like, 10 seconds later, he realized what he did, and the cameras were around, so he starts, like, dancing as he's walking around the club.
I disagree. I think that there's definitely situations where you have to respect someone's privacy, or, like, if they're in the middle of eating, if they're with their family, they're sitting down, like, leave them alone, right? Like, there's going to be an opportunity for you to approach them and do it respectfully and calmly. But I do think that when you are a public persona and everything you have is because you have public support, you do owe people. And I think it's like,
I think there's a I agree, but I disagree. So even take last night, we were at the fights, right? If someone asks for a picture, like, I'm gonna go, what's up, man? What's your name, right? And kind of like let's have a genuine, like, human little interaction here. Like, tell me your name. All right, Matt, nice to meet you. You know what I mean? Like sometimes people be like, hey, get in the picture. I don't fuck with that. I'll be like, I remember actually
when I
was in Alaska with Tony and Christos, I almost got in a fight with someone because I was like, he was like, get in the picture. And I was like, what's your name? He's like, don't just get in the picture.
Oh,
really?
Well, no, there needs to be manners. Yeah,
exactly. Like there's everyone last night who, when they were grabbing us to take pictures, like we kind of would do like the. Like there's
it was very nice,
cordiality.
Yeah.
Candice is she's chastising me. I'm gonna give you guys a little
You're talking about with the eating?
Where
you're going.
Little inside baseball here from the Canceled Weekly world. Candice wanted to meet Flavor Flav.
Did you wanted to meet him?
Well, I wanted a picture. Yeah, I watched Flava of Love. I was super. Yeah.
And we were
hoops and
we were in the VIP.
We were in the VIP.
And I'm like, yeah, I'll go.
And I was like,
I'll
stop
go get
it.
Crab Flavor. She's like, don't you dare.
I was like, leave him alone.
Like, he's always gonna be eating.
And then he
just
just
everywhere.
bombards the man. I'm like, oh my god.
Hey, anybody ever tell you look like Flavor Flav?
He goes, she's psyched to meet you.
He goes,
no, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Because he was literally trying to make his plate, and Gerard just goes up, and I was like, do not bother him.
I need my food. My sustenance. This is the only food I need.
You know what's so funny is it's clearly an act. He goes, well, by George, I'd be happy to meet you, sir. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, Flavor Flav, you're so, the elocution. He goes, harumph, if I could just finish.
He's got a transatlantic accent.
He goes, bully, I'm happy to take a picture with that fine young lass. Just Just 2 more bites of my slider, sir.
No, Gerard was like, she's a huge fan. She would love, and I'm not. I think he's funny. He's like,
now you're flaming Flavor?
No, but it's not like
Flavor flaming him?
No, I'm not flaming. I'm just like, I'm not a massive fan. I just enjoyed his show. I think he's funny.
So he ran away.
He ran away.
And he didn't want to take the picture. And then later on, during the fights, we've got better seats than him. And he's up there. We're like, hey, go fuck yourself.
No, he was fine. He wasn't mean or anything.
He was way taller than I thought he'd be. He had to be at least 5'3". Take a picture next time, motherfucker.
Anyways, I picked this clip because I think it resonates with a lot of women specifically. You would be shocked at how many women can't say no, the word no. And for me,
I would not be shocked. Mickey probably would be shocked. I would be very much not shocked at how comfortable women are with no.
Do they actually say no, or do they do a dance and a roundabout and try to like be nice, or is it just like no?
When I was a pro athlete, I never heard no much. I hear no a lot now.
Just no.
Just they're like no. Yeah, it's more like it's like out of the side of the mouth. No.
Well,
like that lip curled?
No. Anyway, as you were saying.
As I was saying, I think what I like about this is it gives you agency back, and it's instead of saying like you're a victim of circumstance or people are treating you poorly or this thing shouldn't have happened. It's like, okay, well, you also have to set that boundary, because there have been so many times where I could have been in like bad situations and I shut it down. You know what I mean? Like everything about me was like fucking iron wall. Like, this is not happening. And then I know a lot of other people that have been in similar situations with similar people, and you would think we were talking about 2 totally different people. They're like, oh, this guy is like this and he's so rude and he is like a predator, and like they'll say this stuff, and I'm like, that's so weird, because with me it was like a gentleman and like just, very respectful.
Enough, I think I know who you're talking about.
There's a couple names, but my interactions with them, because I can only judge people based off of like what I see and how I exchange with them. I'm not going to go off of gossip. They've always been kind to me and always respectful and always like very mindful of what I need. And other people, it's a very different story. So you have to ask, like, what are you saying energetically, and are you putting up boundaries? And if not, learn how to do it, because it's really important.
I think I like that a lot. And I think really the most important thing that she said out of the clip, my biggest takeaway out of the clip, in all sincerity, was, her following it up with, you don't always have to be liked and you don't need everybody's validation, because look at the root cause of why are you being self-deprecating? Like, why would I tear myself down because that's what other people like about me? And if that's what makes somebody else like you, that's not a person that you should be seeking validation from. If the only way to get validation from that person is to lower yourself or lesser yourself or demean yourself, then that is not the type of person that you need to be seeking validation from. And unfortunately, again, that's an entertainment industry thing. And that's a please like me, pick me, I want to be one of them. And the unfortunate truth is the only people that make it in this shitty industry are the people that are just like, go fuck yourself, I don't care. Oh, I can't say these words, I'm saying them. Fucking like, and then oddly enough, the people that don't play by the rules become the chosen ones. And it's a hard thing to go through that. But the sooner you learn that, the better in corporate life and anything. Like, how many people grovel for their bosses? It's like, like you said before, boss needs me to work on the weekend. No. Okay, but just this once. Yeah, okay. And then once they got you, and then they'll try to use you like Sandy works on the weekend. Why don't you? I'm not fucking paid to work on the weekend. Right. You have to have that agency without going so far as to be like, Ricky don't work on the weekend.
Yeah.
That's the hard part of growing up, is finding that, though. Finding that.
A little self-awareness goes a far way.
Yeah, and having a couple bucks in your pocket helps, too. When you're poor, it's real difficult. Having a couple dollars, Yeah. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do anymore. That changes things.
All right, next clip. Here's Joe Rogan talking about Jesus.
Now, this is fascinating. What if I told you that there is now proof that Jesus lived? The way this ends is just shocking. Okay, so back in 1982, there's this guy, Ron Wyatt. He's digging around in Jerusalem, and he hits the jackpot finding the Ark of the Covenant just chilling 20 feet under where Jesus was crucified. But here's where it gets really trippy. The lid of this ark, it's cracked in half. and there's this strange dark stuff that had leaked into it. Wyatt, he's curious, so he scoops some of it up and sends it off to a lab in Israel. The lab tests this stuff and turns out it's blood, but not just any blood. This blood's got only 24 chromosomes, all from the mom, no dad. So we're talking about a kid born from just a mother. Wyatt's mind is blown, so he goes back to the spot, does a little more digging, and realizes this blood had dripped down from the exact place where they nailed Jesus to the cross, seeped through the cracks right onto the ark. It's like we're not just talking about faith or beliefs anymore.
So I like that clip because that proves the Lord. All right? And, you know, as a Christian crusader right here, you know, I got to help my friends here. You guys, I'm sorry, but you're abominations. Gerard, sloth, and gluttony. Candice, lust. All right? I've seen videos. I've heard telling them. You guys need Jesus in your life. You need to come together
Oh my God.
for the Lord. Did you hear it's dripping through? Did you hear about the chromosomes?
And
the whole story's true. Everything is true. It's real, guys. You need to change your lives.
So
I'm serious about this.
we
I
might-
care about your soul. I don't want eternal damnation for you.
We might, between the two of us, we might have all 7 of the deadly sins covered. But the 8th deadly sin is new, and it's CTE. Because that's fucking... because you took one too many jabs in the sparring section and you think that that's fucking
Are
real,
you saying
buddy.
you think that that's AI and not the word of the Lord straight from above?
You're trying to get me in trouble because you know that I enjoy having conversations with the Christians that follow my page.
It's so funny how you have such a huge Christian audience, and all you do is pick on them.
I don't. I like Christians. I like them a lot. I just ask them to show their work, and they get very mad at me. Like,
Hey, done. Rogan did it.
this is the answer.
The work is done.
Okay, I get it. This is the answer.
So do you not think
But
Jesus
can you
was a
work
real person?
Jesus was a real person.
Okay. So everyone thinks that.
But this is what they don't like, is when I say things like, well, so was Tiberius Pantera. And then they get very angry with me. Do you know?
No, because we did this on a Christmas episode, and
Oh,
I
we
was
did.
so annoyed. No, let me finish, Gerard.
Yeah, you
So
motherfucking
we
gluttony sloth.
we started this conversation on a Christmas episode of the Drinking Bros podcast, and it had to do with one of your clips, and then we tangented. What is like the action?
Tangent size.
Nice.
What is the action of? Anyways,
We tangentialed.
and well, mostly Gerard.
It was Christmas.
It's mostly Gerard. But we never got into what that actually was, like the folklore or the true story of Pandora.
Would you
Ah,
like
well,
to
how
give
much-
us
how much
Do we have
you
time?
got,
Can
sister?
you do it in like 5 minutes?
Yeah,
or
you
less?
Can do it in less.
baby?
We got a
If I think
timer.
in 5 minutes, that's a Hall of Fame for me. Sure.
Like under?
Yeah. So the most blasphemous. There is no more blasphemy. Nothing that can be more heretical than what I'm about to say. This is like if a bishop were to say it, they'd be excommunicated. There is
And if they said around me, they'd be executed.
warrior. Yeah. Warrior for God. So he's gonna come back.
Soldier of God.
He's gonna come back next. He's gonna have the neck beard. It's gonna be Mickey Golov. He's gonna go wrestle in Dagestan.
Yeah, all right. You can just go ahead.
See, this is why we didn't get to
I
the
think they
story
got a
last
different
time.
Religion.
This
but
is exactly
this
what
we did.
happened.
All right,
Yes.
go ahead, G. Hit it.
Okay. You can pull it up, Christian. Pantera. It's going to be with an H. Panthera. Roman soldier who, within 50 years of Jesus' existence, was being theorized as the either consensual or non-consensual father. And it was like known at the time. There was a Greek historian. And again, this is all heresy, and people are going to scream at me and go ahead. And I'm not saying it's real.
We know
all right?
this isn't. You're not making this up. You're
So-
reciting a story.
Correct. So, and they know who he is. And he was, and again, this is where it gets crazy, where people are like, well, Jesus was black
Enough with the
Palestinian.
caveats.
Well, this is all part of the story. He's what would be, I guess, modern day German, was part of the Roman legions. Remember, Rome was an occupying force. And people get very upset with me when I say this, but the idea of Jesus as a human human man, is far more interesting and exciting to me as Jesus being this deity, Son of God. If you look at it from the perspective of there can be no consensual sex for a 13-year-old, right? Mary was 13 years old when she gave birth to Jesus.
I had no idea.
13
How
years
do we
old.
know that?
Look it up. It might
Because of
see
the
if I'm wrong.
Bible, Candice.
The Bible doesn't say her age.
I believe
Homeboys were living to like
believe it
200
does.
then.
Yeah, with the Nephilims and the giants and everything.
300.
The Nephilims.
Yeah, they were but I think they were like.
We're tangenting. So
Yeah, we're tangent. Yeah,
we're tangentializing. Yeah.
16. Yeah,
So, but I think
12
yeah.
to 16.
I think-
Christian, look up
I
age
think
of
consensus
consent
is that she was
in
13.
ancient
So,
Jerusalem.
yeah. Now, if we want to get into that, look up Aisha and Muhammad, but that's a whole different tangential anal.
Yeah, let's stop tangentialing.
So think of it as, from a modern perspective, an occupying force. A soldier has statutory rape with the native population that they're occupying. Mm-hmm. The son is raised as a bastard son to the father that, ends
Joseph.
up, yeah. All of his brothers and sisters are half brothers and sisters. He either leaves at 12 and goes on a journey, or, we don't know what happened with Jesus from 12 to 30. He leaves at 12, and the story picks up at 30 years old, and basically everything we know about the New Testament is 3 years of his life, from 30 to 33, where he becomes a rebel leader. Mm-hmm. And he leads the factions in really what's an anti-Roman, anti-imperialist faction. If you think of it from that perspective, he is the bastard son of a raped mother of an occupying force. Of course he would go to Jerusalem, and of course he would flip over the tables, and of course he would get mad at the Jews that were selling out their own people for powerful positions within this new Roman government. So
It's like a motivation for his rebellion.
yeah, and again, now you look at it like okay, if he's the Son of God, great. Well, that makes that explains how he was able to do everything easier to me. Okay, he's Superman, but if he's not, and he's just a regular human being, and he's so influential that within that 3-year ministry, he was able to tear down the Roman Empire. 500 years later.
So Pantera was just a person, a Roman soldier?
Pantera was the name of the soldier that they believed to be the actual
And then
father.
what is the basis of that?
A Greek scholar that was... Now, apparently, if you want to get deep into the conspiracies, there's a lot more. There's one source that we know. But apparently, there's a lot more there was more in the Vatican archives. There's so much in the Vatican. Apparently, a lot of what was lost at the Library of Alexandria, they have it. They have in the Vatican libraries, but nobody has access to any of that stuff, and they release what they want to release. So, is that 5 minutes?
No, we definitely went over.
Okay. So Tiberius Julius Abdus Pantera, from 22 BC to 40 AD, was a Roman Phoenician soldier born in Sidon, modern-day Germany. Is a tombstone found in Bingerbrook, Germany in 1859. Hypothesis concerning a connection to Jesus. Historical connection from this soldier to Jesus of Nazareth has long been hypothesized by some scholars based on a single claim from ancient Greek philosopher named Celsus, who, according to Christian writer Origen, in his Against Celsus work, was the author entitled The True Word. Blah, 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 blah. According to Origen's account, Jesus was depicted as the result of an affiliation, non-consensual or consensual, between his mother Mary and a renowned Roman figure at the time of great upheaval. He said that for the reason she was accused of adultery but had a child by the leader named Pantera. Biblical scholar James Tabor claims that Tiberius Pantera could have been serving in the region at the time of Jesus' conception. Recent scholarship refutes this claim, said it's doubtful. Christopher Zeichmann goes as far as to say, where precisely Pantera's unit was located during the years leading up to Jesus' conception is uncertain, but it's beyond doubt that he was not in Judea or Galilee. So, again, could be, could not be, but that's the 2,000-year-old Maury Povich. You are not the father.
Okay.
All right, next clip.
Speaking of stepfathers, Here's a clip of a poor guy just trying to get by with a kid that ain't his.
No. No, that nigga just fake that shit. That nigga is a fucking dramatic ass. Yo. No.
Oh my gosh.
Watch it again. Watch it again. Watch it again.
Run it again.
No. That nigga just fake that shit. That nigga is a fucking dramatic ass. Yo. No.
He goes, no. He goes, bang.
I find it funny, although I know there's a lot wrong with it. I am desperate to hear Candice's reaction to this video.
Get rid of that guy yesterday.
Guy?
Yeah, get rid of the guy.
The stepdad?
Yeah. Is he married? Are they married?
How do we know he's not the father?
It's probably
it says it's a stepson, so I'm going off the clip.
Okay.
Wait,
no, I think it's a boyfriend. I don't think they're married.
You think the guy's the problem?
For sure.
He said no to the kid, and the kid whacked his head.
Yeah,
against
why
the
do you
wall.
think the kid's doing that? Probably because there's a pattern
His
that has been
little
happening,
dramatic
and that guy. Listen to how he's talking to that little baby. He's clearly not well.
He's keeping it 100% G real.
You don't talk to a baby that way. That's not okay. And that kid is tapped into something, and that's a bad dude. Get rid of him.
Wow.
Get rid of him. It is your job. If you're bringing another man into the picture, dad's out for whatever reason, he's got to go through a very strict vetting process. And part of that is that the kids have to respect you and love you. And if they're not getting that, you're probably not worth it.
Where did the kid learn that? The kid's an op.
Because the guy's probably a piece of shit, and he's trying to get him out of the house. He's probably like, this guy doesn't treat me well.
But the kid, where'd the kid learn the
Kids,
kayfabe?
they are smart. They are so smart.
That's so funny. That kid went, I don't like this
No.
dude. Bonk. Mommy!
No, get rid of that dude.
This dude has the camera. He's like a cop with a body cam the whole time now. He's like,
That's probably not the first
If his
time.
reaction-
Definitely not the first time.
If his
He definitely got in trouble once before. It was like, little dude.
Yeah.
No, if his reaction was different, then I would say it was probably just the kid and whatever. But the way that he talked to that kid, get out.
Wow.
Get out. Well, yeah, of course. If she picked that guy, so
Yeah, like,
you know.
But yeah, I look at that as like the mom, like nobody.
No one talks to my baby that way. That's what nobody does.
I get it, but if your baby was hitting its head to try to curry favor, that's a learned behavior, right? Like they're not coming up with that.
No, they
by
might. No,
themselves.
yes, they are for sure.
Really?
They're so smart. They are. You'll see. They are so smart. The things that they say, the things that they come up with, you're like, how? How'd your little mind do that? Yeah, they're very smart.
That's devious. That's conniving.
It's not. I think that that's a huge parenting misconception. A misconception with kids is like assuming malintent, especially at that little age. It's not
Assuming malintent.
Yeah, it's not that. It's usually like a cry for help or asking for connection. It's one of those two things. So to like punish it and say you're bad or that's whatever. They're not ready for that yet. So they're needing something. It's like I need help or I need connection. So that's what that kid is saying.
That's a rough one.
Listen to the parent in the room.
Dude, it's so funny.
With the no. I assumed he was frustrated with the no and was like,
it's so much bigger than that.
But like, I'm going to either get some sympathy or I don't know. I don't think he was like really framing the guy. I think he was like, all right, so I'm frustrated, whack. And he's like, Mommy, my head hurts. Like, give me love. Kind of, you know?
My hot nigga.
I could just see the birth dad like teaching the kid like, hey, this is what you're gonna do, my guy. When that dude tells you no, bang, and then we're gonna get rid of them together. All right, boy. All right, son. I love you, Daddy. I'll get you back in here. I know you will. I know you will. That kid hit him with the bang. I don't know. It's so funny. You saw that as a stepdad issue. I saw that as like, oof, run from the mom, run from the kid, run from that family.
Well,
if I was a stepdad there, it's like, oh, no.
Well, that's a really hard thing to do, is to be a step parent. It is and I feel like it's such a high calling. I think if you do it with integrity, like it is like such a beautiful spiritual practice, and like it's going to be something that like ripples, like it's going to be like such a big, powerful effect. But you can't make that decision haphazardly. Like you have to be very conscious of the entire dynamic going in and know what you're signing up for and know it's going to be super hard. And the hardest part is probably not going to be not to blame the kid, because you're going to have this kid that's acting out, and it's like, of course, like now they feel divided, like they've lost that connection, and now they're trying to figure out, where's my loyalty, which parent is my favorite, because they all do that, and even if they don't do it outwardly, it's there. So it's really hard, but the step parents that do it and do it well, like I think hats off. I think it's so amazing. So when you are entering a new relationship, everyone has their do's and don'ts, and let's listen to some behaviors that maybe should be reserved until you are truly in love. Otherwise, you might get a stage 5 clinger.
I'm so anti giving head early on, which is so controversial, and everyone's like, oh my God, you're the worst. And, you know, whenever TikTok guys like see that, they're like, good luck to her husband, whatever. But the reason I'm anti it is because men are more quick to be like, yo, dude, she's obsessed with me. Like, I've heard that so many times from my husband's friends. I never, like not once, unless it's someone like, you know, very obviously annoying to a girl, I never hear a woman say, like, guys, he's obsessed with me. I rarely ever hear that. But a guy very quickly will go to that mindset of like, dude, like she gave me, like she's in love with me, you know? And so I think an act of, you know, giving head early on, which is like, honestly, like martyrdom, in my opinion, like it's a really selfless act. And it's something that I think, reserve for someone that you love. That's why I'm so anti giving head early on.
So I don't know if I want to start with this or if I want to end and just get your guys' opinion as the men in the room. Do you want to?
Sure. Well, it sounds like she don't like doing it.
Right.
She said it's an act of martyrdom.
An act of martyrdom. That's a strong. But like she really don't like it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Joan of Arc and giving dumb. Basically the same thing.
Yeah. And I think like the fact that at first it's almost like, yeah, I don't want like these guys to be all feeling themselves, you know what I mean? Being like, oh, they're obsessed with me, this, that. But I guess she's kind of saying, because when we're talking about like a stage 5 clinger, right? We're talking about the guys calling the girl a clinger because, and that's going to make him kind of want her less. That's kind of her point, right?
Maybe,
like,
I think it sounds more like she feels slighted, or that it's kind of like disrespectful or not taking the woman seriously because you're like, oh, she's so obsessed with me.
Yeah.
I think too often in relationships, women try to like create these milestones of achievement. Like, you know, I don't do this until this date, or I'm saving this for this. And it's like thinking it's some way that they're going to trap a guy into marrying her just so I can, you know, oh, let me see what that neck is like. And it's like, if you're not doing it, you think the guy's waiting 3 years? You know what I mean? Like, if you're not doing it, somebody else is doing it. To me, the clinging has nothing to do with, we're all adults here. Like, you know, if somebody wants something sexually, do it or don't. But
well, like when a girl is intimate with you, and specifically with oral, are you automatically like, she's obsessed with me?
No.
And like you,
no.
I'm like, when she's texting me, good morning and how's your day, and blowing me up, and like then I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Like it's the phone for me. It's like when I've got to make
that conjuring device.
When I've got to
conjuring device
grabbing you whenever they decide.
Oh man, like I got to check in. The foreman's one. I got. Oh, sorry. I missed my 1 o'clock conference call with you to see how your day's going. My
you
fault,
don't
boss.
like talking to your person?
I hate it.
Really?
Hate.
What about you?
Hate.
I don't. I'm not as adverse as Gerard.
But you don't enjoy it?
No. I do. I've been in relationships where I didn't. That's because I didn't like that person that much, or that person annoyed me. Right? Like I've been in those, and that's probably where you're at. Is these people are annoying you.
Well, it's just a checking in thing. It's like you're adding nothing. It's, you know, you want to feel like
I think if
I'm
you
thinking
really
about
care,
you
if
and all
you
these
really
other
cared
things.
about
adding
them,
nothing,
you
it's a
you'd
touch
wanna know.
point.
Like
No.
I've heard you say like you don't care how their day is.
I don't.
But I think if you really love the person, you would.
Huh?
Yes,
I think
you
if
would
you
care
really,
about
really
their
love
day.
the person, you would.
Yeah.
No, because if they had something interesting to say, they'd say it. Dude, Patrice O'Neal
Well, like, are
has
they your
the best thing
entertainment?
on it. It's all right. Tell me
Do they
the
have
tell me
to
the
be
end of the
your-
story first. Just tell me the end.
But they're
and then
not
it's
there
okay.
to just be your entertainment.
No, exactly. And
You
I'm
know what
not
I
there
mean?
to be their entertainment. You
It's
know,
not
so,
entertainment.
No, it's conversation, G.
yeah, I disagree with you guys. I really do. And good for you guys that you like it. But like, I don't care how your day is. If something interesting, like, send me a funny meme. Send me like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
So yeah, they're your entertainment. They have to entertain you.
yeah. If it's like, I don't want to check in. I don't want to be like. It's the same reason like I don't fit in corporate America. It's like I hate busy work. Like no. Like, how was your day? It was good. How was your day? Okay. Well, okay. So who do you hate at work? Yep, she's a bitch. I agree.
Yikes.
Yikes. Whatever.
Yeah, yikes.
You know, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. I'm a piece of shit.
But the point of the clip is she better be topping me off if I'm gonna be fucking texting back and forth 15 fucking times a day.
All right, so if you got a text, you better be getting something.
Let's
out
go.
of it.
Yeah, you want my attention? I'll trade. That's my martyrdom. Oh my god. Yeah, oh god. Yep. Tough day. I know. Really hard dealing with these 6-year-olds. First grade teaching is fucking so hard. You ever think about kicking one of these kids in the head? Anyway.
I think the martyrdom is a mistake, even if it's something that you don't enjoy, because I think everyone has different proclivities. People like things, people don't like things. That's fine. I'm not trying to like force anyone to change what they enjoy. I know plenty of women that enjoy that, and it's like an act of service, and they love being the turn on, and they love turning on, and they like pleasing, and like all of that stuff.
Yeah,
Like, they would.
That's like they love.
They love
Like,
it.
that's
They would
their-
never
turns them
consider it
on.
like a sacrificial act. But if that is you, it's not something that you enjoy. If you reframe it and you're looking at it as like a way to connect or a way to give, it totally changes the dynamic, and then you're not stuck in this weird place. Because it's either like you like the person and you want to connect with them, or you don't. And I don't think that putting like, okay, we'll do this after a certain point, I don't think that secures your relationship in any way. It's like he either likes you or he doesn't. And whether or not you give him head, it's not going to change anything.
Gerard, you gotta
depends how good
talk
it
to
is, but
some more interesting girls.
It's so funny, man, because the other day Mickey saw I was on the phone with a girl, and after we hung out, he was like, "You must not be that into it. You were playing a game the whole time you were on the
He's
phone."
swiping through Instagram. He's like, they're on speaker. Just be like, yeah.
But it's the opposite. It's like I actually really do like this girl because I'm trying desperately, and like I'm like, I got 3 more minutes to get to 5 minutes here, and then I gotta be like, all right, well, I gotta go.
Yeah,
I gotta do things. Things are.
You need to find a woman that's a cactus or like a succulent. You know what I mean?
That's the whole point. She doesn't succulent.
No, you need to find this. Like, I think when you look at people, I look at them like kind of like plants or like gardens. And then you have different ones that require different amounts of
cactus,
sun.
like you don't need to water it.
No watering.
I need to know what kind of plant I am.
Low maintenance.
What kind of plant am I?
I don't know.
What's a
I'm
fat
still learning.
Yeah.
I'm still learning. I definitely.
A bush.
What's an overgrown like hedgerow? What is Mickey's plant?
It's like one of those like 20-year-old bushes that you can't kill, and it hasn't
like a
been
big
it hasn't been watered or
Obviously
trimmed
like
in
a
25
big,
years.
Sequoia or a redwood or some sort of awesome tree.
You're a redwood.
No. Mickey is a really pretty plant that needs so much attention, or it will die.
An orchid. Mickey's an orchid.
He's an orchid.
True.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Because of his tiny little legs.
No, orchids. Orchids are beautiful. They're very high maintenance. But if you
I'm joking. You're actually being very hurtful.
I know. I'm going based off of your parameters. I don't know how much you need to be maintained. This is off the premise. If that's true,
for me, guys.
that would be an orchid.
I can't wait till his next fight. And it's
You know what
I'm going to beat his orchid.
No, but so the other day, this isn't a plant thing, but we were thinking about getting a chameleon. And then I knew nothing about chameleons until I started like doing this deep dive into chameleons. And then I realized I'm a chameleon. So the thing about a chameleon is it requires everything. You have to have the perfect environment. It has to be 6 foot off the ground at least.
Wait, a chameleon, like the
little lizard things.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So you have to have it off of the ground, at least 6 feet tall. It has to have 2 different kinds of light. It has to have mist that's put in 3 times a day. It only has live bugs. You can't look at it too much, otherwise it gets uncomfortable. You're very lucky if it lets you handle it. And then that's your commitment. And if you do all of these things, it might give you a little bit of attention. And then I was like, oh, I'm a chameleon and poor Eric.
He's an orchid, I'm a weed, and you're a fucking prissy dinosaur? How did this fucking work? I want to be a dinosaur.
This sucks for all of us, I feel like.
I want to be a dinosaur.
What's Christian? You got any
Stegosaurus
gay
for sure.
plans?
Huh?
So what's Christian? You got
It's a
any
gay plant.
plans?
Christian?
Yeah.
Christian's definitely like those little the little flowers, the little flowers that they put in with the roses in the bouquet, the ones
Baby's breath.
Yeah, that's he's baby's breath.
Old
He's baby's breath.
CP over there.
That's so funny. I see people as plants.
Well, no, it's like relationships,
Except
right?
me.
So there's
I'm a
over
cool
there's
dinosaur that changes colors.
there's overwatering and underwatering too with plants. So it's how does someone take care of their plants in their home? And it tends to translate to relationships. So if you have someone and they are just drowning their plants and having to replace them all of the time, they're probably like that with their partner. And then if you have someone, this is anecdotal, but it's me. Your plants are dying all the time because you forget to water them. That tends to show up in relationship as well.
Yeah, a cactus is cool. But I'm not distant. I like love and I like feeling love, and I like acts of love and emotional well-being, closeness, physical touch. And that stuff's very, very important to me. But I do want to be in a place where the affection's understood. It's understood. And it doesn't need.
No, it doesn't need to be reinforced
constantly.
You're saying?
Yeah.
Well, it has to be able to be received, and then that's where communication comes into play, because you could do something that you think is a love language or whatever, but if she's not receiving it, then it never. The question is, was it given? Right? It's like if a tree falls in the woods and no one's there to hear it. So the gap and the divide between a lot of couples, I think, is one person is doing something and they're doing a lot of that thing, and they're like, how does she not appreciate me? How does she not see that I'm loving her? But what you're offering is not something that she's able to receive. She doesn't even see it. So you have to have the conversation where if someone does feel underappreciated, you're like, okay, well, I feel like I'm doing all of these things. Is that not something you enjoy? So imagine you hate strawberries and every single day I bring you a basket of them and I just want to watch you eat them and it makes me so happy and I think that I'm doing something for you, and you're even allergic and you're like, oh my God, I can't fucking do this anymore. If that conversation isn't had, then I don't know that you don't like strawberries and I should be giving you something else. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Still don't like texting bitches. But
Okay.
No, I get it though. I get it. I'm just,
You'll find the one and you'll not be able to stop.
Yeah, she probably has no thumbs.
Yeah. I know with my wife, she's probably the first girl that doesn't annoy me at all. And I think if anything, she leaves me wanting more. But she's also she's kind of quiet. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
She'll obviously open up and talk plenty, but also she's not verbose. She's not too much. When I find almost every other relationship like that is usually they're I can relate to what you're saying,
mm-hmm.
but I think you just need to change your dating pool.
To people that don't speak my primary language, yes, that's very good advice.
That might be a fucking
The secret sauce.
That might be the secret sauce.
Language
dude.
barrier.
There we go.
Yeah.
I always knew I was gonna have a mail-in Russian
Go
wife.
copy you a Russian boy.
Yeah. What's up, fucking?
I could see you with a Russian lady. I think that would work out really well.
Yeah. Czech broad, something like that.
Yeah, just someone who's a little
Eastern
bit
European,
more secure with herself and certain.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a good change of pace.
Yeah, I could see that.
Be a good switch up. Make my mom a lot happier, that's for sure.
They make great wives.
I'm in.
The
Set me up.
the
Go for it.
Europeans.
Yeah.
Send him one.
Yeah.
Send it. Is there a website or something? Like EasternEuropeanBroads.com? Yeah. Do I just go to Ukraine and pick them up now? Or are they just like hanging on the side of the road?
God.
Or is that how that works? Hey, you need a home?
Whose clip is this?
My clip. Here is how you deal with a Karen.
You have a problem.
You broke the law.
Lady,
You broke the
I
law.
didn't break the
You
law.
went down a private dock.
Oh my God, I broke the law. I took a wrong turn.
There's a
Please,
fine.
someone arrest me. I took a wrong turn and I went down a dock. Oh my God. Oh my God. What the fuck is going on? I went down the wrong dock. Oh, please! Please help me! Oh, God, I'm so sorry! I'm so sorry! I must seek penance! Oh, please, I hope Christ will forgive me! Oh! Oh, I went down the wrong way! Oh, God, I'm so sorry!
Like all the dogs looking at the camera lady like, I'm so sorry for this.
I don't know if I can live with myself anymore.
So he went down the wrong road.
Yeah, so I guess the guy he said he made a wrong turn, went down a private dock, and she was, giving him the business about it, and really, you broke the law, you blah, 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 really scrutinizing him. So then he just like, oh my, like he took it to 100, started scrutinizing himself, and she's just like, because what's she going to be like? They're like, yes. Like she knows he's being facetious, and then just like, but that's what she wants. See, I want you to feel that, and he's, you know what I mean, taking the piss out of her.
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's a little fighting fire with fire. It's kind of disarming her. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what she is aiming to do, to shame him and be like show him where he's wrong. It's like, I'm a fucking person. Made a mistake. Chill out.
Yeah, that's hilarious. I wish I could see that more.
Ridicule and satire is the perfect way to fight whatever cancel culture, Karening, whatever you want to call this new. Because logic doesn't work. Like too often, people try to like have a logical conversation. And what I love about that clip is you can tell he tried one sentence. Was like, I made the wrong, and she was like, no, and she cut him off. Was never gonna let him, and then he was like, okay, we're gonna do this. Let's do it this way then.
Yeah.
He gave her like the one sentence to be a human.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're performing. I can perform.
Yeah.
And I love that. And it's the same thing.
I'll up your outrage.
And it's the only way to handle like anything, even political these days. We've talked about this on Slick and Thick. It's like there's somebody who say, you don't want high taxes? You don't want to pay more in taxes? Well, then you want kids to starve. You don't want kids to have school lunch. And it's like, those are my only two choices. I either give the politician the money or the weather fucking kills us all.
You have to ridicule.
Yeah, you have to make them feel so stupid. Exactly. You have to make them feel so stupid for even proposing that.
Right.
For even bringing it up. And satire and ridicule is something that was, it was what we were brought up on, And, well, our generation, probably yours as well,
I didn't know if you were like talking comedian. Or
No,
like
especially in the Northeast, like the idea of like, little baby needs a bottle, like things like that. It's now been construed as bullying or whatever, but that was actually, it was a very necessary feedback loop you were getting. Long story short, more of that, as much of that as possible. If someone's being not nonsensical, don't give them even.
Yeah, don't
an ounce of your real personality
with them. Yeah, don't waste your time. Just
Now that might have been a bit much.
That was great.
Take it to 15.
I enjoyed it.
It would have been so funny if he just kept like walking to his car, got in the car, kept going as he was driving away. Like it's just like she doesn't know what to do, and
he's bending backwards,
he's
like
just leaving
and on the floor.
Yeah,
so ashamed. Yeah. I'm such a piece of shit.
No, I think
someone needs to arrest me.
No, I think you have to make it funny because I think the traditional thing is to argue back or try to like make a point. But I feel like people are so over that they're doing comedic relief more often. There's this person we go to dinner with, and it's dreaded every single time because we're like, she's gonna start a fight with the waitress or the hostess. It's just guaranteed. Like, it's never a really smooth experience. So we were out to eat, and she was just like sassing this waiter there's never a reason. So she's sassing the waiter, and it was the first time I experienced it. He started sassing back, and he's like, if you keep going, I'm gonna have to take that steak knife away from you. And I was like, oh my God.
Yo, I don't fuck with
so good.
waiters. Like, they got control of your food. They can spit and put whatever they want in
That's
there.
not probably gonna happen because like you risk your restaurant getting shut down, and that's not worth it.
Who's gonna see?
There's cameras and there's other people, and it's just one report. So the way that reports with restaurants go is you get 3 strikes. Your first one's free. Your second one's like $20,000 no matter what. They come in. If you're making them come in, it's like 15 or 20K immediately. So like no one wants to deal with that. So it's very, very, like maybe if you're going to a dodgy place and everything's very cheap, but if you're going to a decent restaurant, they're not risking that.
They could just step into the shadows, stick their finger in their butt, and handle your steak real quick.
Maybe. I doubt it.
You were never a waiter, were you, bud?
Do I look like I was ever a waiter?
Just making sure. This could be like something completely, innocuous. You're like, sorry, sir. I ordered
easily
this
cut a
medium
little
rare,
center
and this
into
is
the meat
medium.
and spit into
He's
there
like,
and-
oh, did you? Did you order that medium? Okay. I'll go put it back on for you.
I never did anything to food.
No.
Even with terrible people, I never did anything to food.
I did sass. I was a bad waiter, though. I did sass back. I was like even reasonable stuff I was unreasonable about. Like, they were like, oh, I'm sorry. I ordered this medium rare, but this is medium. I'm like, I didn't cook it.
Yeah, I remember my dad telling me a story. I think he was in he was in school, and he was working at like some restaurant. This guy was just being like a big shot. And he was like, he ordered wine. He's like, this is good wine. You know nothing about good wine. Like, kind of like, my dad was like, you're absolutely right. And just knocked the wine bottle right off and got fired after that. But he was like, I was going to quit.
Well, we had a bad experience with a waiter with your dad as well. The waiter, oh,
and they just left?
They just bailed on our table. They didn't like what our conversation was about, and she just bailed on our table.
Wow.
We didn't ask you to listen to the conversation. You get out of here. What are you talking about? It was college town, the whole thing. But the food was good at the place anyway. This is, I think, what Trump did really well, making fun of Hillary Clinton and all these other things. And he's gotten away from this. He's gotten away from the playful aspects of what he is. And I think he suffered for it.
Well, he just hired Tulsi Gabbard as an advisor.
Really?
For his debate coming up.
Should have hired her as vice president.
I know. That would have been awesome. She's great. But yeah, I mean, that just shows a huge shift. I honestly think that assassination attempt, I don't think that can go without changing you.
He seems different.
He seems different. And he seems like he has always been, we know people that are very close to him, and he's just not one to take advice even from people that you should really listen to. He just listens to himself. And sometimes that's a great thing because you don't want yourself deluded by other people.
Yeah.
Right. But other times you have to know when you might fall short in some way and have someone who can facilitate that strength. So I think that him hiring her right now is a huge shift that he never would have done prior.
If he actually listens to her.
I think that's the fact that he hired her. You're not going to have Tulsi in the room and not listen. I don't think she's going to let you not listen.
She destroyed Kamala, so.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
We'll see. By the time this episode comes out,
we'll find out.
The debate probably already happened. Who knows? Does this come out September? So yeah. We film these all in a day, because we all live in different places. So
sorry, guys.
Yeah.
We're doing our best.
Sorry.
Help us get on a network, and then maybe we'll be able to troubleshoot that in some kind of way.
What network do you guys want to be on?
I think Fox would be great. I would love to be on Fox.
OWN?
You want to be on OWN?
I don't know. I was
after The View.
That was the only network I could think of.
It's the only network you watch.
Yeah. ESPN. I know that one.
Yeah.
But I don't think we're that.
We're the demographic. I don't know. I could see Fox would be cool.
I think Fox would be really cool.
I think we could do
Fox 5.
I think Fox News. Regular Fox.
Yeah. No, Fox News. Yeah.
I'd like to see us on I think MTV. We'd be good for the kids.
I didn't even know that's still a channel.
I wish you held it on G.
Hello there, fellow teenagers. You want to talk about today's news? All right, guys. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, you gotta go do your thing. It's a long one. All right, peace.